Scroll through any feed late at night. Someone is always promising easy money from a side hustle while you sleep. But Bankrate's 2025 survey found the typical side hustle pays just $200 a month. Half of people earn even less. The gap between that number and 5,000 isn't the clever idea. It's something quieter. Repeat income and real skill. So let me walk you through 5 unglamorous businesses that reach that band, and the one trait that separates the winners. About 1 in 4 American adults now runs a side hustle. That's a huge crowd. But the headline numbers hide a very uneven picture. Bankrate found the average hustler earns around $885 a month. That sounds decent, but the average is misleading here. The median tells the real story. Line everyone up by earnings, and the person in the exact middle takes home just $200 a month. That means half the crowd earns $200 or less. The big earners at the top drag the average up and hide the truth. And the ground is getting harder, not easier. That median actually slipped from $250 in 2024 down to $200 in 2025. Roughly 1 in 4 new hustlers quit within the first 90 days. They give up in the first 3 months, usually before any real money arrives. So the 2,000 to 5,000 tier is real, but it's the top slice. It belongs to people who run this like a small business. Before we get to the 5, a quick word on why they even work today. A few quiet shifts made all of them possible from a spare room. 15 years ago, most of these barely existed in this form. The tools that make them simple are surprisingly new. Cloud accounting software let a bookkeeper serve many businesses from one laptop. No office, no filing cabinets, no driving across town. Print-on-demand platforms print and ship a shirt only after someone buys it. No boxes of stock stacked in your garage. And marketplaces for pet care, rental cleaning, and freelance work now hand you a stream of customers who are already searching for help. That last part matters most. The hardest job in any business is finding customers. These tools shrink that mountain down to a hill. Let's start with the least glamorous one of all. Bookkeeping. It just means keeping track of a small business's money, what comes in and what goes out. Every plumber, bakery, and dentist needs this done. Most of them hate doing it, so they happily pay someone else to keep the numbers clean. Freelance bookkeepers in the US typically earn between $37,000 and $50,000 a year. Get certified or focus on one type of client, and that jumps to $40 to $80 an hour or more. Skill is the real lever here. ZipRecruiter pegs a freelance bookkeeper near $24 an hour. Works full-time, that lands around $4,200 a month. But here's the quiet trick the best ones use. They don't bill by the hour at all. They charge a flat monthly fee, called a retainer. Meet Ada. She keeps the books for 6 small shops at $400 each. That's $2,400 a month, arriving whether her phone rings or not. Notice what that retainer really buys her. Her income stops depending on hours worked. 6 steady clients pay the same on a slow week as a busy one. And the work rewards staying put. A shop that trusts Ada with its numbers won't switch lightly. Each year she keeps a client, her income gets steadier. There's a hidden bonus too. Once Ada learns one shop's numbers, the second month takes less time than the first. Her hourly pay quietly climbs, while her fee stays flat. Next comes print on demand. You create a design, you upload it to a platform, they print it on a mug or a shirt only when someone orders one. You never touch inventory, you never ship a box yourself. Startup cost can be basically zero, because the platform takes its cut out of each sale. Gelato reports the average print-on-demand shop earns around $4,600 a month. The stronger shops climb toward nearly $10,000. That sounds like free money. It isn't. That average quietly hides thousands of shops, earning almost nothing for months on end. The big myth is that more listings equal more sales. So people upload 1,000 random designs and wait, and nothing happens. What actually works is a tight niche and designs that people genuinely want to wear. Quality and focus beat sheer volume every single time. Meet Ben. He sells shirts only for nurses. One narrow audience, inside jokes they love. That focus is exactly why his little shop pays. Because Ben knows his one crowd, his marketing gets cheaper too. He speaks their language, so buyers find him and tell their coworkers for free. There's a margin catch worth knowing. The platform prints a shirt for maybe $12, and Ben sells it for $24. That $12 gap is all he keeps per shirt. Now, the one everybody thinks is passive. Vending machines. Buy a machine, fill it with snacks, collect the cash. Easy, right? Not quite. A single machine grosses only $150 to $400 a month. After costs, you keep maybe $40 to $120 of that. Here's why. The product costs money. The location takes a cut. Fuel and repairs eat the rest. Net margin is only 25 to 35%. So one machine is basically pocket change. The money only shows up when you build a route. Many machines in many good spots. A 10-machine route nets roughly $500 to $1,200 a month. One operator with 32 machines reportedly cleared over $13,000. But that takes real cash up front. 2 or 3 machines run $5,000 to $15,000, plus a few hundred more to fill each one. And the real profit killer isn't the machine. It's the location. A machine in a dead hallway loses money no matter what you paid for it. Compare 2 machines side by side. One sits in a busy gym with 500 members. The other sits in a quiet office of 12. Same machine, wildly different pay. That's why route operators guard their best spots. A gym, a hospital, or a factory floor with steady foot traffic is worth more than the machine itself. There's a lease trap here too. Some spots demand a cut of every sale, sometimes 10 to 15%. A bad deal can quietly erase your thin margin. The fourth business hides in plain sight. Cleaning short-term rentals, the Airbnb turnover between one guest leaving and the next arriving. Every time a guest checks out, the place has to be spotless within hours. A busy host can't do that 50 times a year alone. Cleaners charge $75 to $150 per turnover. At 2 or 3 cleanings a week, that's a few $100s per property. Stack a handful of properties, and it adds up fast. Established cleaners on the Turno platform report $5,000 to $12,000 a month. Meet Ivy. She cleans for 8 nearby rentals. Same few neighborhoods, a tight schedule, and repeat hosts who trust her with their keys. That trust is the moat. A host who depends on you every week isn't out shopping around. That's recurring income, not a scattered one-off gig. The tight geography matters more than it looks. Ivy's 8 rentals sit close together, so she isn't burning an hour driving between jobs. And a bad review costs a host real bookings, so a cleaner who never misses a turnover becomes something a host can't afford to lose. Ivy can grow without more driving too. She hires one helper, splits the 8 rentals, and takes a cut of every job. Now her income isn't capped by her own 2 hands. The last one needs no machines and no inventory, just a skill. Freelance writing and virtual assistant work. Content writers average around $51,000 a year, roughly $25 an hour. Virtual assistants land near $50,000 too. But the spread is brutal. The average writer charges 42 cents a word. Expert writers charge $1.25, 3 times more for the same page. And nearly 2/3 of freelance writers earn $5,000 or less a month. Most of them sit near the bottom of that range. Why so low? Because 78% charge about 40% below what their experience is worth. They quietly undersell themselves out of fear. Meet Leo. He stopped writing about anything and everything. Now he writes only for software companies. And he doubled his rate almost overnight. Same hours, a narrower focus, higher pay. Virtual assistants who specialize, say, serving only real estate agents, climb toward $5,000 a month the same way. Think about why Leo can charge $1.25 a word. A software company loses far more than that from one confusing page. His words save them money. A writer who knows one industry cold also works faster. Leo doesn't spend 3 hours researching basics. That saved time is pure profit on the same fee. Leo's clients come back too. Once a company likes his work, it hands him the next project without a search. Repeat clients cost him nothing to win. Now step back and look at all 5 together. Notice what the winners actually share. It is never the clever idea itself. 2 quiet forces do the heavy lifting. The first is recurring revenue. Money that shows up every month without you making a fresh sale. Picture a heavy flywheel. A one-off gig is you shoving that wheel from a dead stop over and over. A retainer, a route, a roster of repeat clients, that's a wheel already spinning. Each month starts with momentum instead of starting from zero. That's the difference between Ada's 6 retainers and a writer chasing new gigs. Ada wakes on the first of the month already at $2,400. The second force is specialization. Ada, Ben, Leo, Ivy, none of them serve everyone. Each one serves a single narrow group better than anyone else. A narrow focus is hard to copy and easy to charge more for. That's exactly how you escape the crowd stuck earning $200 a month. Look closer, and the two forces feed each other. A narrow focus makes clients stay longer, and clients who stay longer become your recurring revenue. Which brings us to the traps, because most beginners stumble into the very same ones. Trap 1 is believing any of this is truly passive. It isn't. Print on demand needs constant designing. Vending needs restocking. Quiet is not the same as effortless. Trap 2 is chasing whatever's trending. Experts told Forbes this is the top reason new hustles fail. Jumping in without checking the margins or how crowded it already is. Trap 3 is running it on feelings. People love the thrill of launching something, but a business lives or dies on profit, not on excitement. So track your numbers like a shopkeeper. What came in, what went out, what's left over. If you don't know your margin, you don't really have a business. Here's a quick test. If a vending machine grosses $200, but the snacks and the spot cost $150, you cleared $50. Trap 4 is forgetting the tax collector. This is self-employment income, and it's taxed. Set aside a slice of every good month before you spend it. A safe habit is parking 25 to 30% of each payment in a separate account. Then, the tax bill in April never catches you off guard. There's a fifth trap that's easy to miss. Undercharging to win the first client. Set your price too low, and raising it later on the same client feels almost impossible. So how do you actually pick one? Match the business to what you already have. Your money, your time, and your skill. Almost no cash? Writing, bookkeeping, and print on demand start near zero. You trade your time and your skill instead of your money. Have some savings but less creativity? Vending needs $5,000 to $15,000 upfront, but no designs and no clients to charm. Comfortable with your hands and a car? Rental cleaning needs supplies and a tight schedule, and it pays quickly once hosts learn to trust you. Whatever you choose, expect a slow and unpaid climb at the start. Beginner shops and new writers often earn almost nothing for months. That ramp is a marathon, not a sprint. Surviving past the point where most people quit is itself your single biggest advantage. Remember, 1 in 4 hustlers quit inside 90 days. Just outlasting that first quarter already moves you past a quarter of your competition. So, here's the mental model to carry out of this video. Stop hunting for the perfect idea. Start building repeat income instead. Ask any side business 2 questions. Will customers pay me again next month? And can I get good enough that others can't easily copy me? If both answers are yes, you're looking at the top tier. If both are no, you're looking straight at that $200 median. Your first step today costs nothing. Pick one skill you already have. Numbers, writing, cleaning, organizing, and write down who needs it most. Then find 3 real people or businesses with that exact problem. Not a platform, not a trend. 3 names you could actually reach out to this week. Reaching out to 3 real names beats uploading 1,000 designs and hoping. One paying client who returns next month teaches you more than any video. The quiet businesses win because they solve boring problems that never go away. So which boring problem are you willing to solve every single month?